Okay. Hi, I'm Don Taylor, and I really don't know what social media I'm going to post this on, so I'll just tell you that I'm Don Taylor. I am a prison wife and city commissioner and social worker and untitled, unpaid counselor, mentor, life coach to some. So I got a lot going on in this journey of mine, but oh, I also I do loved one's hair. So I was doing my little cousin's hair the other day, and God was showing me some stuff about us humans. So she's about 6. Her and her sisters don't like getting their hair done all the time. So it's you never know what you're gonna get from them, if they're gonna sit in compliance or if they're gonna get rowdy or just sorrowful or what. You just don't know. So this particular day, I'm braiding her hair, and we're sitting in a children's church so that she can participate while I'm braiding her hair. And we're sitting a little ways away from them. They're watching like a video and different stuff like that, and talking. So she'll have her head turned one way, I'll be braiding, and she'll turn the other way to pay attention to them real quick. Then she'll turn her head this way, and then she'll turn her head again, and I'll be like, look now, you got to hold your head still if you want me to get through this. Okay. So some of the things I was breaking down to her that God was really breaking down about, like, this is how our journey works as, faith believers and everything like that, was so I'm combing through it to make my parts, and she'll turn her head, and then the part will, go crooked. I'll have to restart the part. Then she'll turn her head. Then I'll restart the part, and then she'll turn her head. And then I'm like, hey, gotta hold your head still. Come on now. And then she'll start to giggle. And then she gets this little ornery look and stuff, and looks back at me and starts giggling. And then she'll sit there, and it's like she's watching me from the corner of her eye. And then when I start, she'll turn her head and start giggling. And I'm like, look now, if you want this to go faster and easier, then you will be obedient to what I'm asking you to do, even when it's uncomfortable. Because sometimes she was like kind of wincing and stuff, when I'm going through snagging a nap or something like that. I say, but even when it's uncomfortable, this will go better, and it will turn out the way you wanted it to turn out if you just sit still and obedient. Then she's doing this and that, and then her, like, it's taking extra time, right? So then class is over, and her cousins and her siblings go running off and play, and she's like, I want to go play. And I said, we ain't done yet. And I said, one of the reasons we're not done yet is because you didn't sit still, so it's taken longer. If you would have been obedient, even though it was uncomfortable, even though you felt like you were missing out on everything else that was going on around you, even though you was getting antsy and a little ornery, if you would sit still and be obedient, then it would have went faster, and you could have got to the things that you wanted to get to. Then I told her, because God, at the same time I'm talking to her, God is talking to me, right? He breaking it all down, like, And I said, and the thing is too, when you're moving around against me, you're working against me, your braids aren't going to turn out as cute as you want them to. They're going to be a little crooked. They're going to get a little jagged. They're not going to do what you want them to do. So the outcome is going to be different than what you wanted if you were kicking against obedience. So it's going to take longer. It's not always going to look like what you want it to look like. And sometimes it's going to keep you from the things that you really want to do or accomplish. So God was just speaking, which hopefully it was obvious to you, the things that he was breaking down to me, because Is that not what we do with our walk with him, like on a regular, everyday basis? He asks something of us or tells us the next step, or he sets up a certain situation for us. And in our ignorance and our, fear of missing out, and in our honoriness, and sometimes when it's uncomfortable, we deviate from obedience, which is rebellion, which is disobedience. But we deviate from what he says for us to do when he says it. And then we're confused and frustrated when things aren't happening when we want them to happen, or how we thought they should happen. When the outcome ends up different, when you started with God and then the outcome ends up different, but somewhere in between there was all these kicking against him, kicking against his plan, kicking against what he said to do, or when he told you to sit still, or he told you to be obedient in this aspect, and you were like, just saying. That'll preach. That'll preach. Y'all have a blessed day.